Hello, namaste. Hope you all are doing well. One fine morning, you wake up to find this email an IIM interview call. Now, you are very excited, jolly, tell your friends about it, tell your family about it. You start daydreaming about what it is like to study in an IIM doing an MBA. Suddenly, brakes are put on your thoughts because there is one more hurdle to cross. That is what an PI round. If I divide the process of giving the CAT exam or getting the CAT admission in a college into four broad points, the first one would be registering for CAT examination and giving the exam, which I'm sure most of you here would have done that for this coming admissions or this coming cycle, that is 2025 to 2027. The second point would be registering for the colleges in which you feel are eligible after getting the CAT results. There are even some of the colleges where before the CAT results are out, the registration form is open. For example, IIFT is, I think, one of the colleges where before the CAT results are out, the forms are open, and there are many other colleges where the forms are open before the CAT results. Many colleges out there where the registration forms are open till January end. So you have a plenty of time even after the CAT results are out to register based on the eligibility, based on your results. So make sure to do your fair bit of research on each and every college, because each colleges have a little bit different eligibility criteria. That is coming under point number 2. So the third point is, after filling all the forms that you feel are eligible or for the colleges checks from the background, do their fair bit of research and what is your CAT results and all of that, and then you get called for the WAT and PI rounds for those colleges. They feel that you can be a good fit. The fourth round is getting the admission calls from the colleges, and this is based on the CAT results, the WAT PI, how you have performed there, or your gender diversity, your different category diversity, and also the work experience and the academic results. So these are the 4-5 major factors that they take into consideration while giving you or giving you an admission. So these are basically the 4 points that are out here. So I was also doing my fair bit of research, and I found that currently, if we take into consideration, there are 22 IIMs in India currently, and as everyone knows, the old IIM, that is Blackie, and also IIM Shillong, they do their own individual interview or personal interview rounds, WAT and PI rounds. So anyone who is eligible for that need to register individually for those colleges. They might even get calls directly from the college if they are eligible after CAT. But again, I told you need to do your own bit of research because it's a little bit different for different college. Now coming to the CAP colleges, we have Nagpur, Bodh Gaya, Jammu. Then there is Ranchi, Sirmaur, Tiruchirappalli, Udaipur, and I'm not sure if I've missed anything. But I got to know that from this year, this IIM Sambalpur and Raipur have opted out of CAT college. So that means that they are conducting their own interviews. CAP colleges, there is supposed to be one interview for the colleges that I mentioned. And there are also many other colleges like IIM Mumbai, Vizag, Amritsar, Rohtak. They have Rohtak has been conducting its own interviews since past 2 to 3 years, and Amritsar, Vizag, Mumbai are also in its list. So this is a fair bit of idea about how broadly the admission or the PI process looks like for different colleges, because people have a lot of doubts when it comes to the admission process, and it's a little bit confusing. So you just need to give a little bit of time to do your own research. Now coming on to the IIM interview preparation. What can you do to get selected? What are the 5 major points that I'm going to discuss is going to help you in your interview rounds? And if you are well versed or well prepared for it, no one can stop you from getting your dream college. I have also given interviews for CAP interviews, IIM Rohtak interview, IMT, and some other colleges where I had put on for doing my MBA register. So basically, IIM interviews can go either of these two directions. One is a smooth interview, which can go on for 10 to 15 to maximum 20 minutes. And the second one is the grill interview or pressure interview, which can go from 25 minutes to even 40 minutes, 45 minutes for that instance. If I tell difference between these two interviews, in smooth interview, your panelists might take it little chill, might give you hints of answers to reach to a specific answer that you have, might not confuse you a lot, might ask you straightforward questions where you have to give straightforward answers. Whereas in real interview, how do you react under the pressure? They kind of make you think 10 times before answering a question. Even if you have answered a question, they'll ask you time and again, are you sure? They'll make faces, and that is how they check if you can handle it or not. And trust me, the grill interview experiences, oh my god, they are scary. But if you have the confidence, if you know the tactics of how to handle those, then it would be a piece of cake for you. So in these 5 points, I will cover the major points or broad categories in which the questions in the personal interview round is taken. I am not covering the what round because it's pretty straightforward. You are given a topic. You need to write certain opinions on it. It can be fact based. It can be your opinion based, what you feel about it. And I think it's pretty straightforward for everyone. And people need to have a basic sense of general awareness, what is going on around the world, to be able to write about a topic really well without any grammatical mistakes. And it's better always to use, I feel during writing, it's better always to use certain examples, certain facts, certain numbers, which can give you an edge in comparison to other people out there or the other competitors. Focus on 5 points on personal interview experience. The first and foremost is the personal round. The personal round means whatever you have filled the form in about your academics, about your home state, where you have studied, what were your subjects, and all of that. It comes all under this. Now, an interviewer will start asking you your introduction, and when you tell about your where you have done schooling, where you have done undergraduation, if you have done post graduation before, they'll ask about that. Work X after you have told all of this. The first and foremost pattern that I have observed in an interview is they ask you regarding your home state or city, what you belong. So you need to be well versed of the history, the geography, and the political and the governance stance of your city or a state in its current year, or what all has been going on, what is the future of your city or the state that you are in the current year. You need to be well versed also about any most of the majorly they ask about what are the rivers, what are the tributaries, if there is any specific festival which is famous, is there any food which is famous. So you need to have a general awareness about the state that you belong to, because that is what they ask to most of the candidates. Second kind of questions which is most common is what are your hobbies, or the questions around your hobbies and interests. So make sure you tell them your interests or the hobbies that you are most confident about, that you know that any question that they ask around it, you will be able to tell. For example, if a person tells that he is a football fan or a cricket fan, just make sure to know the recent updates about any league or any club matches or in any cricket matches, in any cricket series like that, and about the your favorite players that are out there, about the history, about some history about the sports. If a person tells that book reading is my favorite thing, make sure that you have summarized a book, at least one script of a book well in your mind, so that you'll be able to tell them some learnings from the book. What do you feel the author could have written, or if you were the author, what could you have written better or different from that author in that script? So make sure to have these points covered, and so that you do not look like you are something who just throws out just shallow ideas out there. Whatever the interest is, you need to be well versed with it, confident with it. Right. So these are the second broad questions that you are going to points. The third point is majorly over the academics and the professional part of your career. As I was a fresher, and my graduation subject was economics. A lot of panelists, when they knew that I'm an economics student, they got very excited, and they used to ask a lot of questions about the budget, about the RBI interest rates, and a lot of questions about the currency, about the India and its relation with foreign countries, and all the macro and microeconomics concepts around it. And if you want to go and check out my past interviews, please click on this playlist, and you will find the interviews that I went through. I have covered each interview in detail with all the questions, and you can watch the most common questions. You can search in Google also. Many people would have shared it on Quora or something which is related to your subject, and prepare around it, because I know a lot of people get asked the questions around their graduation subject. And if you are a working professional who has worked on, make sure to as you are well versed with the work that you have done, make sure to brush it up well. Make sure to make answer to make the answer coherent, to make the answer short and concise, because that is what the panelist wants. They want clarity in thoughts, they want clarity in how you present, and they want to see that confidence in your communication as well. These are the three things that you need to. The fourth major point is the one which I got asked the most in my. So some people might or might not get asked these questions, but it's always recommended to be prepared, because this is a kind of a question which gives an idea, about your critical thinking, about how you see a question or a problem, and break it down into simpler answers. And you have guessed it correct, it is a guesstimate. So in most of the interviews, one guesstimate was asked to me. One of the guesstimate is what I remember is getting asked, like, if I live in like Odisha, how many red cars can I see in my state in a year, or how many red cars are there on the road? So you need to ask a lot of questions. You need to have a double way communication with the panelist when you are solving a guesstimate, and there are n number of ways, or there are multiple number of ways in which a guesstimate can be solved, and a lot of guesstimates are there on YouTube as well, which are uploaded by many good YouTubers, which will give you a fair bit of idea. And I definitely recommend for your own self also to get an idea on how to solve them. So this is the point, and the last point is the behavioral or the situational questions that you will get asked. So in this kind of questions, what they will do, they'll ask you or put you in a hypothetical situation. For example, you are working this in this company, and you don't like a teammate. That teammate like does procrastinates a lot, does not do his work on time, and you are the person who is given the charge of finishing the project or finishing a deliverable within a time. How will you handle it when he is your colleague? So these are the few kind of like behavioral questions that you will get to ask. There might be an opinion based questions also. They can ask, for example, budget is kind of a very common topic that you usually ask, because it's most of the interviews are around February and March. So they might even ask, like, what is your take on it? If the tax slabs, what is the tax slab? If they're reduced, what is your take on it? Do you feel that India can grow like this and this? So there are a lot of opinionated based questions, and make sure to remember this, that there is nothing right or wrong in these questions. It depends on how you, as I said, how you show that question, so show your answer. So break down your answers in front of them. I'm pretty damn sure that these 5 points covers most of the interviews that are out there. If you are nervous about your interview, make sure to remember that even if you mess it up smartly, mess it up in a way that they feel that no, you might not have reached to a certain answer, certain concrete answer, but your critical thinking or your vision or your clarity of thoughts is that well, so you might be a well fitting candidate for this interview. So make sure to act smart, be quick on your toes, don't fumble. If you are getting an answer wrong, remember any answer correctly, know that at this moment you are not able to recollect it, or you have not heard about this concept, and you will go back after this interview and make sure to look at it. So please communicate with them. And if at all you don't know any answer and you feel like the panelist might know, you can just ask them, like, can you guide me or give some idea about it? I don't know about this concept. So they might just tell you some details about this concept, or they might just tell you that you can just go look at this topic. Is giving CAT interviews this year. I wish that you get the college that you desire, and even if you don't get the college that you desire, but something like maybe a little bit less than that, but that opportunity is also a life-changing opportunity. You should not come to all of us. So if we get an opportunity, a chance in our life, I believe that we should not close our doors on it. So be open-minded, prepare, and I wish you all the best for your interviews. Thank you. Bye.